Leeds United are, as usual, trying to do their best as the season goes on, and as usual, have met discomfort after discomfort after discomfort after discomfort. Things are not going 100% well for Leeds United at the minute due to the loss of Ethan Ampadu and Max Vuber and Ilya Gruev. And the more players that go missing and the more players that get knocked out of contention, the more it looks like we're going to need a deeper squad than we've got. And typically, you wouldn't be able to do that. But it looks like we are going to delve into the free agent market as Leeds United are in talks to sign Cheikhou Kouyate, who is currently a free agent. Now, in this video, I'm going to explain everything about what free agency actually is for the people that might not 100% understand. They might think, well, the transfer window closed. Not necessarily. I'm going to explain a little bit about Kouyaté, why it might not be the best signing in the world. He's not a bad option, don't get me wrong, but there's a couple of little iffy bits I've got about him, and then maybe why the move is taking a while and it's not been confirmed quite yet, just because I think he's been at Thorpe Arch for a little while now, getting a bit spooked. But diving headfirst into it, the article came out recently. I'm going to specifically use Ben Jacobs as the source, but there are many sources on this entire thing, saying Leeds are exploring a deal to sign Cheikhou Kouyate on a free transfer. Not a done deal as of tonight, which was admittedly last night. Despite the medical exam, parties have discussed a short-term contract until the end of the season, and Leeds will make a final decision soon. Now, to summarise, if people are like, well, the transfer window closed, I thought, so how are we set to be signing a player? In essence, you can sign someone that is a free agent at any time of year, which is great, brilliant. You can sign absolutely anyone. Wonderful. But only if they're not attached to a club, which makes things a little bit trickier. And it tends to say that the better players will automatically, as a rule of thumb, be with a club already because they're quite good at football. Apparently, Kouyaté has been spending a significant amount of time at Thorpe Arch. He's been there for a good few days throughout the international break, and it made people think, okay, he's training with the team. He's potentially going to get better and better and better and get back into the form that he was in before he turned out to be a free agent. Fantastic. There is a slight concern, and it's a slight concern that was brought up, I believe, by Adam Pope, as mentioned by Danny just now. Thank you very much, Danny. In that, he's been at Thorpe Arch for a little while now, and he's been training for a little while now. And that says, why haven't we properly signed him yet? And this is potentially a good thing for us, but I'm not 100% sure. The way that I'm looking at it is we're taking the international break as an opportunity to, A, pad out the squad a little bit and have more players in training so we can actually do training, because remember, last international break, we had a grand total of 8 senior players that remained at the club. That's not enough to do training, so if you add someone like a Kouyaté to the mix, fantastic, definitely helps. Taking a step even further, this is a really good opportunity. It's a good 2-week period in which we can go, right, okay, Kouyaté, are you good? Are you not good? And we've got plenty of time to work through all of that, which is why I think that Leeds United are yet to make a decision part comes in pretty significantly. Because at the end of the day, it is our choice. Kouyaté is not in the strongest of negotiating positions at the minute. Admittedly, his position is strengthened a little bit by the fact that we could do with a central midfielder. It's widely known that Gruev is out until like March, according to the international manager, and Ampadu is out until January. So we could definitely do with someone in the door. But there are plenty of free agents that we could be looking at. We could look at promoting Charlie Crew to a more senior role. We're in the position of power here, and that's why I feel a little bit somewhat comfortable about that. Plus, there's the fact that if he doesn't turn out to be good enough in training, we don't need to make that signing. I think it's good to take our time with it, good to think on things, but at the end of the day, if it comes down to a question of do we think we sign him or do we think we don't sign him, I think it's going to be a lot safer for us to go with the signing side. One of my big concerns about Kouyaté is the fact that last season he made 14 appearances, which is fine enough for a player that's about to be released being in a rotation role. I kind of get it. But he had 344 minutes, which is not a lot of football to be playing over that significant period of time. It's across an entire season. I've played that much over the last 2 months, and I play once a week, and it's a 7-a-side league. And we have mandatory subs where you have to come off. My big concern around Kouyaté is one of fitness, but that was the same concern that I had of Sam Byron when he came in, also as a free agent. And whilst he is 34 years of age, he doesn't need to be an integral part of the side. He can be a little bit rotational. He can pop in, he can pop out, he can do all sorts of bits and bats. Hard to say. But at the end of the day, I think it would be better if we did sign a midfielder during this international break just to reinforce the numbers a touch. Whether or not that is Cheikhou Kouyate, I don't know. Kouyaté, sorry, not Kouyate. It's been a very long day. I don't know. It's a signing that I think I'd like, but we need to make sure that we're doing it the right way. We need to make sure we're doing it in an affordable way, and we need to make sure that at the end of the day, he adds to the squad rather than taking away from it. But that's just what I think, as always. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like, subscribe, you could even become a channel member. It's 99p for the month, and it's hugely appreciated. But I'm not ending the video just yet, because I am in a live stream right now. As usual, if I do a live stream late at night, that's probably me recording a video for the next morning. So, for the folks in the live stream, I asked before I started the video recording, because we do top secret things sometimes, to pop some questions in, to go over to our favourite place, a wonderful place. It's Questions Corner. So I'm going to answer a few of those. If you want to stick around on the video version, that would be massively appreciated. But we've got a few little bits and bobs, including a pretty easy question of, is he fully confirmed yet? No. And I wouldn't expect him to be fully confirmed until one of the last possible moments. It'll be some point next week, I assume. Maybe a Wednesday, something like that. I think the press conference will be Wednesday anyway, so I imagine we get something sorted before Daniel Farke's press conference, just because that would make a lot of sense for us. It means that we're not sort of stuck into something and guaranteed to have to do one thing or the other, and we're not leaving a manager to make sort of statements to the press that aren't going to be 100% accurate. Clive, this is the wildest take I've ever seen, and in addition to this, we are currently 4th or 5th in the league. Let's stop losing our head. It's the international break. This is when we chill. All is well. It's fine. Also, Eusebi also would never have done it. Didn't he get a player or two on a free? I can't remember. Anyway, but this is a fair point. Depth is, in fact, depth. We do have yet another question. Do you think we sign Kouyaté, not Karate? And if so, when do you think we'll hear at Farkas Presser? I think we'll... If we do sign him, I think an announcement comes before Farkas Presser, because that doesn't leave him sort of in the deep end with questions of, yeah, but are we going to sign Kouyaté? And it's like, well, I can't really tell you that, can I? If it's announced in advance, it makes things a lot easier for everyone. But then again, if we're still doing things like making sure that he's fit and healthy and all that sort of stuff, fine. But ideally before Wednesday is what I would think. But I think we probably do, because by the sounds of it, he's the only free agent midfielder that we actually have there. Also, there's this. Can play defensive midfield and centre-back, and as much as it is easier to prefer someone younger, odds are you're not going to get someone younger that's a free agent that's a decent championship starting standard at the minute, just because very difficult to do. And finally, for Questions Corner, we got a couple of ones on the finances. Mitchell's asked what his wage expectations will be. Jim's asked, do you think he'll want a high wage? It depends. Because if it's a position in which he knows he's in a spot of power, maybe. But at the same time, personally, I don't foresee us being in a tough financial situation here. I think it'll be a decision made on ability more than anything else. If there is anything wage demandy at any point that does come out, happy to discuss it. But at the same time, I absolutely do not think that that is going to be the case. I think it's going to be a position in which we decide on fitness and ability rather than on finance, because I think the 49ers are in a position where they're like, okay, we need to go up now. And I think that'll hustle them along a little bit. And I hope it does, but that'd be nice. Just going to quickly respond to this one before the end of the video as well, actually. Why aren't we looking at our youth squad? Because if they're not quite good enough, that would be a problem. That would be a case of we're just leaving ourselves short, and then we start losing even more matches, and we start piling that pressure on an 18-year-old rather than a 34-year-old, and that would be a bad thing. He does have 2 wives as well. Kouyaté, which is very, very weird. But that's okay. He can do what he wants. Why not? Within laws and morals, obviously, but people have different moral structure. I'm not getting into that. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, subscribe, become a channel member, all that fun stuff. And one question for you in Questions Corner. Why aren't you subscribed yet? You should do that. See you later.